generating enough traffic or leads? Is your website not found on search engines like Google or Yahoo?
Yeah, good to have y'all in here today with me on another episode of Expansion Pack. This is episode 2 of Expansion Pack, the official Expansion Pack here on DGTA TV. Let me get this music turned down for you. If you in here right now, you're going to get a special. I say the rhythm runs like a fine wine as we potent. You can get it all in your mind. It keeps you going. Your energy, it keeps you up. Never gonna be down. Never gonna be feeling stuck. If you got some good music. Alright, I'm gonna cut that out. So what's happening, everybody? I am your host, Dan F. Mann. This is another episode of Expansion Pack here on DGTA TV. We are officially live on DGTA TV, although we only went live, I believe it was 2 days out of the week this week. It's okay. We still did our thing. Technical or not technical. Sometimes, since I'm the boss, of the whole broadcasting aspect, sometimes I'd be like, nah, I'm gonna just go ahead and run with what I got. I don't feel like the upgrade. So y'all bear with me on that. But we got a very, very interesting show here today. We're gonna keep continuing this financial literacy aspect, because I feel if we know how to use the money, then we'll undoubtedly use the money for how we intend, in a better way, more knowledgeable way. Not necessarily better, but we'll be a little bit more knowledgeable. So, with that being said, let's get this thing running. Alright, here we go.
At an early age, children begin to wonder, can I invent the next kind of computer? Can I become a fashion designer? Can I start my own business? We want our children to accept that their dreams are possible and be able to envision their futures. And that's why Junior Achievements BizTown students in 4th through 6th grades learn the values of work readiness, entrepreneurship, and financial literacy.
The mission of JA is to, number one, make sure students understand the importance of education, how that education translates into the free enterprise system, business formation, creation of jobs, future economic growth in the country, so that we are all stronger and better as we go forward.
Junior Achievement fills an important gap. It's very hard in our public school system for people, particularly at this age group, to learn about the private enterprise system, the free enterprise system, the system that has built America.
JA BizTown is an opportunity for children as early as 4th grade to experience the challenges of running a real business.
School will sign up to run our little town over there. We need 70 students. That covers all our basic jobs, from CEOs and CFOs to bank tellers and sales managers and DJs and reporters, just a plethora of jobs. So they will look at those, and they will actually complete application forms and go through an interview process. And during the day, each employee of a business is going to get 2 breaks. We split them into 3 groups so that at any one time, a third of the students are off on break and are being the consumers, and 2/3 are being the producers and serving the customers that they have.
Thank you for shopping. Come again.
So when they're on break, they'll go to the bank to deposit their paychecks, so learning about the banking system. And then they will take care of any chores and businesses they might have. They might have to have lunch. They might need to go to the wellness center to get health insurance. And then they have the opportunity to go shopping. And they shop by using checks. So they're starting to understand how money can be intangible, but we still have to track it.
From the classroom to the office, JA BizTown's goal is to prepare students to make a positive impact when they enter the workforce. We ensure they are armed with the knowledge and skills to succeed in school and their careers, so that the next generation reaches its fullest potential.
We learned how to write our own checks and write our own deposit tickets and look at our check register and know how to use that.
They are doing a lot of adding and subtracting, writing checks, In the accounting part, they're working with percentages. We do a lot of writing for the web page, the radio station, the TV. In social studies, it's the economics, so it ties everything together.
It's actually that connection between real life and what students do in their room. If no one in their family's in the business world, then they go, oh wow, this is something I could do. This is something I like.
Right.
That's the difference that JA is making. It's that experiential piece. They get to touch it, feel it, be it for the day. And then once they get to do that, they then know why that's important to them. Why education is important, and why I need to stay in school, and how that can help my life in the future.
So if they're learning at those very young ages to be the mayor of J.A. Biztown, then maybe that will spark them to be the mayor of Nashville or the mayor of Franklin or the mayor of Brentwood later in life.
We are educating students in a way they would not otherwise be educated. We've made that connection. We've given students something new to think about that they can get excited about in a positive and constructive way, and JA programs, the BizTown, is a great way for students to get that message.
BizTown gives them that opportunity to kind of learn about themselves and what they can and can't do. We talk about it all the time. That program's great academically, but attitudinally it's over the top. I mean, it blows it away. Kids come in and go, I didn't know I could do that.
When you have these programs that help show them that what mom and dad say is not just mom and dad talking, that the possibilities are really there, it truly motivates them.
The J.A. Biztown curriculum relies on the generous donations of sponsors who care about the future of America's youth and wish to ensure their children's financial success.
And whether you give money, whether you serve on a board, no matter how you help junior achievement,
right,
you'll get back more. Just when you walk in and see the faces.
We couldn't do it without the people who support us financially. We certainly couldn't do it without the people who support us with their time and their dedication to this cause. And so the more we can have those volunteers and those funding resources, the better off we are.
J.A. Biztown needs someone like you who cares about giving young people.
So now, the reason I played this is because Dan actually got a chance to visit this place this past school year. And when I tell you, when he came home and he told me about it, like he was like, yeah, we're going to J.A. Biztown. And I saw the paperwork for it and the permission slip. I was like, okay, that's cool. But then, you know, you keep hearing it over and over, and then you're like, what is J.A. Biztown? So I looked it up and was like, yo, this is where they need to be every weekend. I need to run this out the house, the shop out the house right here. So basically what it is, it's a mock city, like they said, where the kids learn how to live out here in the world that they're born into right now. Like, whereas, okay, he keep throwing that alley-oop. It don't matter if you were born in India. It don't matter if you were born in Korea, China, America. Right now, you're using some form of enterprise system that is allowing you to trade goods for your survival. Right here. Wow. So, with that, you need to learn how to survive in that system. Whereas you're learning how to spend money, you're learning how to work a job, how to apply for a job, and how to earn your living in that system. And why mom and dad or the adults or the people in your life are going and working and doing the things that they're doing. So I wanted to open it up with that introduction. If y'all have not seen your kid go to that program, please look into that program for sending them there for a day. Dan loved it. I wish he could go back there some more. The name of it is J.A. Biztown. Biz, B-I-Z. J-A-B-I-Z-T-O-W-N. So now we're going to look into a little bit of financial literacy today and how to earn a living. So first we're going to start with the financial literacy, and then we're going to build into what a living is.
For a little savings, Specialist Miller buys in bulk. For a lot of savings, she bundles.
Did you learn about money in school?
I'm learning.
Did your parents teach you about money?
You want that money? Come and find it, because I don't know where it is, you baloney.
Today's video will be a beginner's guide on financial literacy. So if you want to know how to properly use money to make the best financial choices, to live a more comfortable life and accomplish all your financial goals, then make sure you watch this video till the end. November is Financial Literacy Month, and this November is the 10-year anniversary here in Canada. This year, it's never been more important to educate yourself on financial literacy. A lot of Canadians are struggling financially because of the effects of the pandemic. Financial Literacy Month helps Canadians better understand their finances and help to make better financial choices. With that being said, let's get into the video. What is financial literacy? Financial literacy is the ability to make smart financial decisions that help you achieve the lifestyle you want. This mainly includes earning income, budgeting, paying off debt, saving, investing, protecting yourself financially, and overall managing your finances. Why is financial literacy so important? The more financially literate you are, the better decisions you will make with your finances. So the more money you'll have and the more effective you'll be with your money. You could have the best paying job in the world and still be broke. Just because you make more money doesn't make you better at managing it. You could also have a low paying job but still build wealth because you have good money management skills. Without financial literacy, money gets wasted. So that means working more, wasting more time, and building less wealth. Don't you want to afford the better things in life without getting yourself into debt? Traveling, buying a home, having children, your dream sports car? Are you going to have enough money when you retire? Being more financially literate helps you get closer to your financial goals. Are you able to cover emergency fund? When you know how to manage your money, an emergency expense can be stress-free. Okay, so how does money work? Money is an accepted payment for goods and services. When you work, you're either providing a good or a service. For most people, working takes up all your time. So essentially, you're trading your time for money. You can make all the money in the world, but you can only have so much time. So why are people so inefficient with their money? Because they're financially illiterate. Let's begin with earning income. Earning income is the foundation of your personal finances. This is the money coming in. Types of earned income include hourly wages, salary, commissions, tips, and bonuses. When considering a job or a career, you should also consider the lifestyle you want to live and will you make enough money to afford that lifestyle. You should also consider the benefits you get. Pension benefits, RSP matching, union benefits, or a dental plan. Room to grow. What's the highest position you can reach?
Yes, sir.
What's the most money you can make? Also, is there a high demand for this career? Will you have trouble finding a job? Will you need to get a student loan to pay for education for this career? And lastly, is this job actually something you'd like to do? Or do you just like the money? Since earning income is the foundation of your personal finances, the better your foundation, the easier the rest of your personal finances will be. But don't just limit yourself to one source of income. If you really want to increase the money coming in, then consider other streams. There are 7 different types of income streams you should know. Earned income, this is what we just talked about, usually your 9-to-5 job. This type of income is the most common and usually a primary source of income. But earned income is limited to the skills you have and the amount of time you can work a day. Then there's profit income.
So I'm gonna let him talk about that.
When you sell a good or a service for more than what it costs you to produce. This is your business owner or entrepreneur. This kind of income is scalable and your earning potential is unlimited. But with this reward, there's much more risk. If you don't want to take that risk, then take a look at interest income. This is when you get paid to lend out your money. For example, a high interest savings account, bonds, or GICs. Now usually you need a lot of money to make a significant amount of interest income, but the pros are that it's risk-free and it's very passive. Another passive way to earn income is through dividend income. Dividend income is income received for being a shareholder of a company. All you need to do is buy shares of a company that pays a dividend and you'll receive a dividend payout usually quarterly. The next type of income is rental income. This is when you have an asset
What the
and
heck
someone
was
rent it
that?
for money. This could be anything from a house to your car to equipment. Another type of income is capital gains. This is when you buy an asset and sell it for more than what you bought it for. 2 examples would be stocks or a house. This is why investing in the stock market and in real estate is so popular. And lastly, royalty income. This is the income received from allowing someone to use your property. Types of royalty income include music, books, pictures, patents, and even the use of a franchise. This type of income source requires the work up front, but usually once it's produced, it can become passive. The more of these 7 income streams you have, the more money you'll make. And if you happen to lose your job, you wouldn't be screwed because you have other sources of income. These 7 income sources are either active income or passive income. Active income requires you to actively perform a service to get paid, while passive income can make you money while you sleep. There's only so much time in a day. If you really want to grow your income, you'll need income sources that pay more and require less time.
Okay, so I'm going to stop that right there before we get too lost in this income and that income and the income. I'm gonna keep it funky with you. Most of us are used to, in one shape or another, spending our time to earn our living. It don't matter what you do or where you spend the time to earn your living. Most of us are used to doing that. So I don't want to strip that away from us. I want us to go into something that we're used to doing. But what I want us to also take into that used to doing phase is something that we're not used to doing in small amounts. Now, this is what I mean. We may watch this show every week and get a whole bunch of different topics, right, in between. But Friday, we locked in on finance, right? And that's 2 hours that if you listen to the show where we can nail something down specifically about finance. So that's why I wanted to stop him, because I don't want us to get too lost in asset earning, interest, dividend, loss, liability. I don't want us to get lost in that. Let's keep it funky and keep it simple. We're going to start with what I'm doing to earn a living. Now, what I'm doing to earn a living would be delivering a service. I'm not delivering a good because it's not a shirt or it's not whatever. It's a service. So for 2 hours a day, I spend my time talking about whatever it is I talk about. That's my service right there. Now, the money that's generated off of that is a small gain compared to the amount of exposure I get. All right. So I'm trading my time for a small monetary gain, but a high amount of exposure, right? So now what I mean is every time you tune into my broadcast, you being you who's listening right now, you see a logo on the screen. You see my name on the screen. You see, no. Now, I get paid 5 cents for every ad that runs for people who are not subscribed. I get paid for the subscribers. No. Now, that is measured. We can package that and put that in a CSV Excel spreadsheet file right there. How much minutes watched, blah, 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 right? On the intangible side that I can't put into a spreadsheet is the amount of exposure that I'm getting as I'm, broadcasting. And what I mean is every time you've seen a logo, every time you've seen a shirt I may be wearing or a certain set in the background, every time somebody tunes in and sees that, it's a win for me in my long-term plan, which would be, hey, I'm going to put something there that is a good for me to sell, like my shirt. Now I have goods to sell off the amount of exposure that I've gained by sitting here playing the game and talking and having these conversations. So that's my plan, and that's the way that I'm going to do it. Also, I'm going to spend 2 hours a day picking up some sort of information on financial literacy, some other topics too, Monday through Friday, Monday through Thursday, but specifically on Friday, I'm going to teach myself about how to turn some of this into an actual income. So that's just me using myself as an example to say this is what I'm doing specifically to exchange my time for my income. All right, so we're going to keep this on the kids tip, I guess, because financial literacy for kids. I guess if we talk in them terms, we can all gain something. Because there's some things that they need to know that we need to know.
Access means everyone gets their own room.
Financial literacy for kids. Have you ever seen something in a store you really wanted to buy? Maybe someone even told you, save your money and you can buy it someday.
Now, if this end up being
how do
whack,
you earn money to buy things you want or need? Today, we are going to define and explain certain words and phrases that will help you become more financially literate. Let's grab our friend, Frankie Finance, to help us along the way. Needs and wants. A need is something you must have to survive, like food,
okay, I like this
water,
already.
clothing, and shelter. A want, on the other hand, is something that would be fun to have, but you can live without. You know, like a skateboard, video game, or favorite toy. Knowing the difference between needs and wants can help you be more responsible with your money. Making a budget. A budget is a plan for managing your money. It is based on your estimation of income, the money you earn or receive as a gift, plus your expenses, meaning the money you spend. One of the main reasons to create a budget is to help you live within your means.
Yes, sir.
In other words, a budget can keep you from spending money you don't have
Yes, sir.
and avoid going into debt. A
My
debt
ass.
is money you borrow from someone else that must be repaid. Saving versus borrowing. As you can probably guess, saving is when you set money aside for the future and do not spend it right away. Like if you are saving up for a special toy or activity, you might have a piggy bank at home where you put money that you are saving. Or you might even have a savings account at a bank. Have you ever heard of a loan before? A loan is money you borrow from someone. Borrowing money means that you are expected to pay it back. Most often, a loan is given for a specific reason, like to help purchase something big, like a house or a car. Quite often, you will have to pay interest on the loan. This means the bank expects you to pay the full amount back, plus an extra charge for borrowing the money in the first place. This extra is called interest and is a percent of the borrowed amount. A savings account is a place where you put money that you intend on saving for a while. And guess what? You can actually earn a little extra money while your money is in the bank. For real. This is also called interest. But instead of giving money back to the bank for a loan, it is a little extra money that you...
This next part.
A credit card is a small, hard, plastic card that is issued by a credit card company or other financial institution. They are basically a type of loan because using a credit card means you are borrowing money from the company.
Yeah, we know that. So, now, I'm going to show you a roadmap, all right? This roadmap here is created by me. You take this roadmap, hey, it will lead you to this destination. So we're going to start small. Let's say you are your average 15-year-old, 16-year-old self again. For the adults watching, if there's any young people watching, you are your age, whatever. All right? So check it out. Let me make sure my devices get charged. Sorry, y'all. Got to charge my phone. All right. So you are your 15, 16-year-old self, and you're wondering where to go, okay? You don't know where to go because you've never been there. Well, here's the map of where to go. Now, I started with the JA BizTown because it is a direct correlation between the skills you learn and are able to use and how much money you could possibly make for yourself. Now, the end of this equation is always infinite. You can make infinite amounts of money from what you know and the skills you are able to use. The answer is always infinite. It's not, I'm gonna be a doctor, I'm gonna make 100,000 a year. I'm gonna be a scientist, I'm gonna make 700,000 a year. No, it's always, I'm gonna use this skill, and whatever I make from it will be infinite. I'm gonna make so much from it that I won't be able to count. All right. Now, 15, 16-year-old, what you must focus on is whatever skill it is you want to acquire. The beauty of living in America or living in a lot of places that are technically advanced, technologically advanced, or not technologically advanced is once you tap into the resources of where you're at, using the knowledge that you've gained, oh man, you will see so much potential in everything. So let's say you are your average 16-year-old, 11th grade, and you want to sew. I want to sew. I want to sew so bad. I want to make clothes. I want to sew things back together. I want to mend the hem of your garments. That's what you want to do. You have to lock in on that skill. Now, you say to yourself, in the background, while you locked in on gaining that skill and learning that, you say to yourself, well, what is it I want to use this skill for at what time? Because that is going to give you your accurate measurement on how much you're going to make or can make at that time. Hey, I'm going to sew these shirts for these people, and it's going to take me this long, and I'm going to make this amount. But it all starts with locking in on that skill. Once you have that skill, it'll show you how much time you need to spend to make and earn whatever type of living you want to earn. Because as you grow and as you expand, it's going to change. But once you lock in on actually having that skill, you don't have to go back and relearn that skill. You don't. You can upgrade it. It'll never be, it's like adding a water bottle to your bike. You know how to ride the bike, but you ain't got no water while you riding the bike. So we're going to add a water bottle there. We don't have to relearn the bike riding just because we put a water bottle on the bike. You understand? So you lock in on those skills. Let's say you're a 16-year-old and you like to cook. I love cooking. I'm going to get in that kitchen and I'm going to put it down. You lock in on that skill. You don't lock in on the money down the road that you going to make from it, because you ain't going to make nothing from it. It's infinite. It's infinite how much you're going to make. Okay? You're not going to even be able to measure it. You ain't going to measure that $2 you made at the beginning when they had tipped you and that was your man's now because he had tipped you $2. No, you're going to forget about that. It's going to be infinitely measured throughout the entire journey. So what you do lock in on is you lock in on cooking. All your ingredients, all of your skills, your flavors, all of that type of stuff that you need to learn to be able to cook. And then you go from there by attaching your water bottle of saying, hey, I'm going to cook this for that person at this time, and I'm going to make this type of living off of it. Hey, appreciate you, Odessa DW, for the 17 bits. I needed that right there. Yeah. Thank you. So, with that being said, now it's way more tangible on what it is you can do with your life, even if you're not 16 again, even if you're not 17 again. There's a lot. The potential is infinite on what you can do once you lock in on that skill. You lock in it on what it is that you're trying to learn. All right. So that is that's like, all right, we running this route in this game, and where is the end zone of the game? It's whatever skill that we trying to learn. Once you in there, you ain't gonna take the points back down off the board. You can only add more points to it. All right, so the end zone of this thing is that skill. It pull out them old things that you wanted to do from underneath the cabinet or in the garage. Pull it out. Hone in on it. Still do whatever it is that you're doing in your day to get you through, but hone in on it, because that is going to be the way that you earn your living in a more fulfilled way. You think that the person that's cutting grass every day is not doing it because he fulfilled some sort of way? Yes. Now, his fulfillment, his or her fulfillment, going to come ultimately from cutting the grass every day? No. It might even be time for them to swap out with somebody else who love cutting the grass because it ain't fulfilling them. But the thing is once you're getting that fulfillment, the living that you're earning from it comes. It's a pet peeve of mine now to hear people say, hey, I'm going to go get a job and I'm going to make some money and then I'll get to what it is I love to do. Anyway, so let's go. We're going to get on to some more of these videos and I'm going to get into some more of this game right here. Let's see a path though. Now we said you lock into that skill. You 16, 17. So at this point, you may not lock in fully to that skill because you divert here, you divert there. But if you're not 16 and 17 right now, take that advice I just said. If you're a little bit older, you can lock in on a skill for about 45 minutes a day. 45 minutes a day. 5 days a week. Let's cut it down to 30 minutes because I can calculate that a little better. 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week equals to 2.5 hours, right? 2.5 hours a week on building some skill, some sort of something that you can do, right? 2.5 hours a week. We got, let's see, in a month, you got 4 of them. So you got about a good 8 hours. Over 8 hours on a skill. And they say it take what, 1,000 hours, 10,000 hours, how much to master a skill? Well, you're not going to get too close to it if your time built up on that skill is 0 every day. We all know about it. Man, listen. Hey, appreciate you for resubscribing for 2 months. You already know. So we all know when you get that progress report at school, you got your 90, your 80, you got a 60. But that 0, oh man, that 0 is killing you. Oh, that 0 is killing you, man. I would have made it if I didn't get that 0. Jeez, I got a 0. So, with that being said, let's give another life plan. Earning a living as, let's just see. I'm getting away from, oh, that's my man's again. Let's see what he got to say. I ain't gonna say what I'm gonna say.
I mean, it's crazy to think about.
Let's listen to what my man's got to say. I said my spill. I firmly believe in what it is that I'm talking about on that tip. I don't know where my chat went on my screen. This battery went dead in this mouse, but we gonna keep it pushing. All right, let's go.
Nothing else is possible. It just keeps you going and going and going endlessly. This big brain, should it struggle to earn a living? That has become a problem because
it's my man's right here.
So this is the nature of a human being. Whatever you're deprived of, you think that is the highest thing. Whatever you don't have, looks like at that moment, that is the highest thing. If you have not eaten for 2 days,
food. Yes, sir.
Food will be God. Yes or no?
Talk to me.
No? Yes. If you don't understand this, Close your mouth, hold your nose like this for 2 minutes.
Yeah, I got your chat up now. Oh.
Will you ask for air or God? Yeah.
Good to have you here with us.
God comes and says, you want me or air? You'll say, hell with you, I want to breathe.
Hold on, let me run her back just a taste. All right, there we go.
Food is the highest thing. You think that is the highest thing. Whatever you're deprived of, you think that is the highest thing. Whatever you don't have, looks like at that moment, that is the highest thing. If you have not eaten for 2 days, food will be God. Yes or no? No? Yes. If you don't understand this, close your mouth, hold your nose like this for 2 minutes. Will you ask for air or God? Air. God comes and says, you want me or air? You'll say, hell with you, I want to breathe. Because whatever at that moment you're deprived of, that takes on enlarges itself in such a way, it blocks everything out. Or in other words, when you're in any state of compulsiveness, you don't see anything the way it is, it gets exaggerated. So just about anything, when you're in a state of compulsiveness, you don't see anything the way it is. Life will get distorted to make you think that that is it at that moment. So like this, human life passes from one compulsive state to another, never allowing yourself that little bit of space where you could see things the way they are. If you do not even see life the way it is, can you handle it the way it needs to be handled? It doesn't arise, isn't it? If you don't see things the way they are, you can never handle it the way it needs to be handled. Because of this, in many ways, individual human lives and whole societies have become distorted humanity. When I say distorted, it's normal, I mean normal. I was talking to a 14, 15-year-old kids in a school. And I couldn't believe that I was talking to about 11, 12 of them, young boys and girls. When something came up and I was just asking them what are they going to do next because they were in their 10th standard or something, they're only talking about finding a job and earning a living. I couldn't believe this because my whole life I never thought of earning a living. My dear father used to break his head, this boy has no fear in his heart, what will happen to him, what will happen to him? I said, not having fear is a problem? I thought fear is a problem. I never thought not having fear is a problem. So, according to the dictates of the divine, I was supposed to become a doctor because my father is a doctor. It is not because they're phenomenally interested in human physiology they became doctors, not because they have an electronic this thing they became a software engineer, just to earn a living.
Hold on, why are we pausing? Hold on, y'all. Got buffering. We buffering.
Do you like having a P.O. box but are tired of wasting time and money driving to the post office?
My father is a doctor. It is not because they're phenomenally interested in human physiology they became doctors, not because they have an electronic this thing they became a software engineer, just to earn a living. Is it not important? I'm not saying it's not important, all I'm saying is, even an ant, which is 1/1,000,000th of your brain, is capable of earning a living. What's your problem with such a big brain? Why I'm saying this is, this idea, this horribly limiting idea has been imposed into our youth that you must earn a living and that's the biggest thing. With this big brain, earning a living is actually a problem on this planet. I know everybody's been conditioned to believe that. It is not so, I'm telling you. It is not so. Earning a living is a petty thing for human consciousness, but unfortunately, whole humanity is investing all its energies and intelligence in just earning a living. If this one thing does not change in the world, that… I'm not saying one should not, all I'm saying is, it need not occupy the entirety of human consciousness to earn a living. If you put one little finger to work, it'll earn a living. It's capable, this is capable of that. All human genius has been smothered to death simply because everybody is thinking how to earn a living, how to earn a living, you know. The moment they can earn a living, they will sit down and become fat. You must be saying, what can I do with this life, isn't it? Yes? You must be saying, what is the greatest thing I can do with this life? Because one day you'll fall dead, do you know? Do you know you'll fall dead one day? So before you die, whatever is the peak possibility for this life should happen, isn't it? I earn my living, I earn my living. This is a big pride. Why don't you see every insect, every worm, every bird, every animal, every creature on this planet is earning a living? What is there to be so proud of about I earn my own living? Everybody's earning their own living, isn't it? Only human beings are making a big issue out of it. Too big a issue. When I look at it, how human intelligence has been sacrificed at the altar of earning a living is unbelievable. How many things human beings could have done, how many incredible things they could have done, but instead of that, they're earning a living. So it's very, very important. I'm just thinking we should start a wave, particularly in schools and colleges, that earning a living is a damn little thing. It is not the prime of your life. With one little finger you can earn a living. With this big brain, when an ant can earn its living, this big brain, should it struggle to earn a living? That has become a problem because you want to be like somebody else, isn't it? You want to be like somebody else, that enslaves you. And once you are into this chakra, nothing else is possible, it just keeps you going and going and going endlessly.
Ladies, how come we're taught to get a 9 to 5, but nobody taught us about…
You know, I always gotta break up our society, or I'll talk into something more than just what is supposed to happen, you know. I feel like we watching some of the top earning people, just listen to me, the top earning people are doing things that they enjoy doing. And when I say earning, I mean they're not worried about eating in a day. They're not worried about getting from point A to point B. So that covers eating, transportation, and their family, their legacy may be kind of solidified. So those are the top earning people to me. And that don't come from something like money in the bank account, if you ask me. So let's watch this for fun. Just to show you.
Our top 10 or 20 players in the world don't have to do anything but play chess, and they can earn a very good living, $250,000 a year and up. All of them can do that just by playing chess. That's a big change, you know. The emphasis to get money into chess was something started by Bobby Fischer, and it's ironic because he didn't personally care about money at all, but he wanted to get money in chess because he thought it added prestige to the game, and he was right.
Chess is a tough career. It is very competitive, and unlike many other sports and fields, compensation is not always enough, so you have to be at the top of your field to make a living.
When you're at a tournament that's a big money tournament and you're far away from home, so many times I would play in the last round, and if I won I could eat, and if I lost I had to drive home for 3 or 4 hours to figure out how to pay the rent. So that was the toughest thing about playing chess for a living.
The reason why my pro career was so short was because I wasn't good enough. I mean, I was a grandmaster, but I wasn't one of the top 20 players in the world. And for those of us who are at the lower tier of grandmasters, you're not making any money playing the game. So it was wise for me to move into other things, which included coaching and commentating, organizing my own events, writing books, doing apps. But bringing all those together, somehow I've cobbled together a living off the game, and now it's not a bad career.
I made probably 95% of my money in 2 ways: playing in chess competitions and also giving private chess lessons. And this was before the internet, so you didn't have a vast array of people to give chess lessons to, just people who lived near you. Because of the internet, I can teach chess on the internet, make videos, I'll give a lecture.
Chess as an e-sport is growing. It's attracting a bigger audience. Due to chess.com, due to ICC, due to Play Chess, there's a lot of platforms that are working on that. And yes, we need faster time controls because that's what makes it more appealing to the wider audience.
The opportunity to make a career around chess will absolutely depend on several factors. One is continued patronage of the game from people who are really interested. 2, sponsorship from big corporations who realize that there is a large fan base that's interested in chess. And finally, it's going to take that large fan base to prove themselves, to provide the numbers by viewing, and once those numbers start rising, then the first 2 will probably happen more and more.
So, more and more, we getting out of the field of, oh, yeah, I have to do this for a living, and into the field of what it is I want to do that could support my living. Because and I think it's important.
Progress. It's something so many of us get out of bed each morning fighting for. Especially the.
And I feel like this is the blessing, if I may say that word, for this situation.
Imagine you're going to a very important party with your partner.
I guess. I feel like this is an important lesson for our world today, because we've been stuck in a mental slavery of I won't eat unless I work. I won't eat unless I earn it. Well, I'm gonna just stop right there. And with that right there, you can see how much stuff will come down the pipeline that it could throw you off your game. It'll throw you off your game if you don't know where your next meal is coming from. Every single time. You will not be at the top of your game if you're searching for that meal. So, Now, I wanted to give us a contrast to some of the old ways that we've seen us have to. We got to be able to make money. We got to be able to earn a living. And the top percentage of people here on this planet have done that just by using what they're interested in to do it. And I feel like every single person, like, all right, I'm going to use somebody like Dr. Phil. I'm going to just say somebody random. Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil wants to be a talk show host. And every single person that surrounds him wants to do their job. Some of them, even in a small percentage, want to be a talk show host. The cameraman, 95% wants to be the cameraman, but 5% he may want to be the talk show host. But he's putting his passion into being the cameraman for Dr. Phil, who 95% wants to be Dr. Phil, the talk show host, but for 5% he might want to be the cameraman. What I'm saying is, every single person that is surrounding that person who's doing what they want to do because they love it, they're doing what they want to do because they love it. Now, we start filling those sectors and those jobs and those positions with people who want to do what they are doing because they love it. The world is looking different now. It's looking different. Everybody is not wanting to be the lead singer in the group. I just want to set up the stage. I love setting up the stage, man. When they be up there and they be on that stage, man, I set that thing up. I didn't perform on it. I just set it up. That's beautiful for me. All right, now, let me get another video in here on y'all. Hold on, let me see what Kevin Gates say. Is that Kevin Gates? Yeah, that's Kevin Gates. Let's see what Kevin Gates say.
I had to get Cole a matching set because who doesn't want to twin with their husband all the time? But
it's literally top of the age.
The greatest war is between oneself. That's the greatest battlefield ever. Once you master yourself, you can master the universe. It takes everything out. It takes the ego out, like being bone cold, honest with yourself. It takes all the superficial shit out the equation. Like, I can't look at nobody and judge their situation or their circumstances because they only a face of the situation or the circumstance that they was in. Because most people live in survival mode anyway. No matter what we say, we live in survival mode. Even socially. I'm so busy like trying to make myself be better.
It's only two type of people on earth. It's real people and fake people. Real people do real things, fake people do fake things. That's how I determine what type of person you are. Like, I'm not condescending, I'm not none of that. But I do take accountability and I'm very hard.
Let me run this.
But they put too much on themselves. I ain't just start out no vegan or just no. I did the small stuff. The little things add up to the big things. Like you start small and work your way. You know, like anybody that want to say get into fitness, I start out walking and drinking water. I wouldn't even change my diet. You start walking and drinking more water, you're not even gonna be hungry. A lot of time we eat and overeat and have hunger pains because we really be dehydrated. We get our moisture from the food, but our bodies are amazing. So I just say that. Wherever you at in life right now, you on the right path, you where you supposed to be. Don't rush it. Slow and steady, anything slow be for sure, anything fast don't last. Just you having that intention to want to make those changes. You know, you're going to start making them slowly. It's a gradual process. You know, look at it like you plant a seed. You still got to water and nurture that seed even when you don't see nothing, even when you see a stick, twig. You know, you still going to be nurturing and nurturing. Then you get the fruit at the end. But it's been in a journey. So you're so invested in it not to where you... Best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. Second best time to plant a tree is today.
Yes. Yes, sir. I like that last quote. All right. Got a little boost up from Kevin Gates. Let me keep going down this line. Hey, there's another one. Give us some different aspects.
Would you recommend aspiring screenwriters begin writing novels?
Yes.
Is it harder to make a living as a screenwriter or an author?
Well, one of the reasons I kind of gravitated to writing a book, at the time I was sort of discouraged with my screenwriting, and I figured, well, writing a book seems way harder, so that means fewer people are probably doing it. I figure, I don't know if that's true. Like, that could totally be not true, but that was what seemed logical to me at the time. And that was kind of why I kept coming back to trying to write a book. I mean, there are a lot of avenues to making money through writing. I think it's hard to make a lot of money no matter what you're doing, But in terms of like making some money, it's probably, I would say, easier because a book is a complete thing. When you finish a book, that is its ultimate destination. It is a book and someone can read it. Whereas a screenplay, even the greatest screenplay in the world, is not complete, until someone makes a movie out of it. It doesn't really stand as its own thing that you can monetize, at least not yet. So I think there's probably more opportunities to make money as an author, as a novelist, but it's also in some ways harder work and it takes longer. And I think either way, to be really successful, you need a combination of a lot of work and time and experience and luck.
Well, the great thing too about novel writing is you don't need.
So I'm gonna switch it one more time. I'm definitely gonna watch this one. So I used to use this program. I'm giving us
At
different
Fiverr,
ways
we offer 3D rendering service.
you can just simply have a skill and turn it into being able to eat every day.
Let's just get straight to the point. Let me start by telling you a little bit about how this channel is doing right now, revenue wise, because it's important for context later on. So this channel right now gets an RPM of around 100 rupees or $1.2 on average, which just means I get paid 100 rupees or $1.2 on average for every 1,000 views that my channel gets. My most successful video on this channel, that is almost about to hit 1 million views, has made me about 63,000 rupees or $750 in total till now. On a good month, this channel makes about 40 to 50,000 rupees or $400 to $600. On a bad month, it makes about 10,000 to 20,000 rupees or $100 to $200. My Patreon has been going well too in the recent months, mostly because of these short films that I've been making for a lot of my long format tutorials, and that currently pays me around $400 to $600 every month. But that is very recent and fueled completely by the success of that one video I showed you earlier. On top of that, you add the occasional sponsorship every few months, which can literally pay anything between $500 to $3,000, depending on how consistently you get good number of views on your channel, and you're actually making a full-time living as an artist now, especially if you're living in a country like India, like I do. But this just happened 6 months ago or so. Exactly 1 year back, the situation was much worse, much more dire. I can't tell you how bad it was. But I made some changes last year that has eventually led to this success, if you can call it that. And this video is all about that. This video is all about what changed. What changed that I don't have to look for another how to make money with Blender video ever again. So let me tell you how it all got started out for me. So I am from a middle class family where obviously there was no scarcity of money per se, but there was no abundance of it either. But we lived in the age of the internet where people exactly like us were making buttloads of money from the internet right in front of us. So we wanted a piece of that pie too. But to be honest, that's not usually the thought that goes on in your head when you initially start exploring a weird little curiosity or hobby like Blender. Like, I think for most of us watching, we played video games when we were kids, we liked video games, we wanted to know how they were made. And that's how we landed in this whole world of 3D and CGI and VFX, I assume. We start watching a few tutorials, start genuinely learning the craft and the tool and actually making an effort to get better at it all. But then one morbid day, we come across one of these how to make money videos on the internet, and immediately our poor middle class mindset kicks in and we start thinking, hey, I think it's high time I started making some money from this half-learned skill that I'm getting pretty good at. All these other people are, so why not me? And I think that's exactly what happened to me. And believe it or not, but for the next 6 years or so, I worked on several mediocre freelance projects with excruciatingly low pay with the most irritating client base you can imagine, while barely making any progress in Blender itself too. Because all I cared about at that point was the money and nothing else. I chased just the money, and I think that was my biggest mistake. I got the opportunity to start making money with Blender before I gave myself the opportunity to get better at it all first. And I know it sounds preachy, and trust me, I hated it too when people said you can't let the thought of money dictate your artistic journey. And I know when you don't have sufficient money, money is all you're ever going to be thinking about. It's hard to detach your decisions from your financial situation. I get that. And I'm not saying don't chase that money either. I think any sane middle class person would, exactly like I did. But 1 year down the line, 2 years down the line, or in my case, 5-6 years down the line, there's gonna be a point in time, if you were really passionate about this whole thing when you started out, you're bound to start questioning this mindless hustle you've been on for so long that has only been empowering you with money and nothing else. And not even extravagant money, just peanuts, really, in comparison to what you could actually be making if you really put the effort into getting good at it first. And that's the change I made almost a year back. I brought my focus back onto getting good first, and I assumed that the money will sooner or later automatically follow. And I know what you're thinking right now. That's your tip? That's your $1 million tip? Get good first? And I'm sorry, but yeah, that's all I've got for you in this video. And I think it's a much better tip, if you ask me, than to tell you some 6 obsolete weird little ways to make passive income from Blender like most of these other videos do, because I don't think it matters what you end up doing. It could be freelancing, it could be selling add-ons and assets, it could be NFTs if that's your thing. It won't matter what you do if you don't focus on getting good first. You're gonna end up clicking on several more of these how to get rich from Blender videos and never understand why everyone's making good money and you are not. It's because you thought about the money first and Blender second, like I did for the longest time. You will make peanuts because peanuts were all you had to offer from your end as well. But let me stop preaching for a minute and actually tell you some practical tips and tell you how I would do it all today if I had to do it all over again. So this is what I would do. Step 1 will always be to get good. Not get good, but just change the focus on trying to get good. But how do you do that? How do you get good? That's a good question, and there are a lot of answers to that question, but I think the most straightforward way to get good is by finishing projects one after the other continually for a long enough time and making sure every subsequent project is better than the previous one in some way or the other. That's it. Don't overcomplicate it, just decide what you want to make and just get to it. That's all it takes, I think, to get good in the long term. If you get stuck somewhere, that's where resources like YouTube and Google and all these other resources like Discord servers and subreddits and forums will come in handy. Another great resource for learning Blender and getting good at it would be Skillshare. Derek Elliott, a really well-known creator in the Blender space, has very recently shot a bunch of Skillshare original series covering a variety of topics ranging from starting out with Blender to lighting and materials in Blender, all the way to super high-quality product renders and their full breakdowns. Another awesome new initiative by the Skillshare team has been what they are calling learning paths, which are basically just curated learning modules about a myriad of topics with hand-selected courses that they've selected themselves for an easier, frictionless learning experience. I've been checking out the Unleash Your Virtual Creations with Unreal Engine learning path recently that guides you from the basics of Unreal Engine to creating a whole FPS game at the end of it, and I've been enjoying it a lot. So you don't even have to put the effort to look for specific courses. Skillshare will even do that for you. So head on to Skillshare.com using the first link in the description. The first 500 people to use that link will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare, so grab that deal before it runs out. And thanks to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. But for now, let's get back to the original point I was trying to make in this video and explore the next few steps as well. So you've taken the difficult steps to change your focus from money to getting better first, and you have now, with this new mindset, finished your first project. But now what? Now, I would suggest uploading it on social media sites like Instagram or Twitter or on TikTok if your country has that. And that's it. Upload it and expect nothing from it. No views, no virality. Just post it so you can call this project done. If you're lucky enough, someone somewhere with a little more experience than you will give you some constructive feedback on it, which is the best you can hope from it for now. But even that is a rarity when just starting out, and you shouldn't even be worrying about that now. All you should be focusing on now is getting started on that next project, keeping in mind that the only goal with this one is to make it slightly better than the last one, and that's it. And you get on this train of repeating this process one project after the other, focusing on nothing else but getting better. Trust me when I say this, at some point, while your full focus has been on just producing subsequently better renders, one of these artworks is gonna pop off to the mainstream audience, and that's when the DMs will start rolling in. Believe me, I've made barely any reels on my Instagram account, but one of them somehow got the traction of a wider audience base. And let me tell you, I get inquiries about commission work almost every day because of it, just because someone somewhere liked it so much that they would like to pay me to make something similar like it for them. And this is from just one video working out. Imagine what multiple videos popping off will do for you. And it will take time. It could take months or even years, if I'm being honest. But you're gonna have to keep your head down and just keep working. Because ideally, at the core of it all, your ambition is to just get better at the craft and nothing else. If you can just do this one simple thing, which is so much easier said than done, I can promise you the money and everything else along with it will just follow. I can't tell you how certain I am of this fact. A little shift in your mindset, that's all you need right now. But that was all just an overview. Let's talk specifics now. When that first DM kicks in, the first and the only challenge really you're gonna face now is how to price yourself, how to price your work. And the only answer I have for that question is my own experience. This is how I learned to price myself. It was $5. So I asked for $5. And they were okay with that. So I asked for that same amount for a long time until one day I realized, hey, I feel like I'm doing a lot more work than $5. I think I should be asking for $10. And I did. And most people were okay with that too. And a few weeks later, I bumped that number up to $50. And straight away, my next 5 clients immediately said no. They wanted it to be done for $10. But I didn't budge because I felt that was a fair price that I deserved to be paid. And to my surprise, a week later, someone did agree to pay me $50 for that same work. And I immediately realized that it is better to wait for that one yes that is ready to pay a fair price for the work that you're going to be doing for them than to work on 5 underpriced projects just because you're afraid to lose $10 on a project in the short term. And I just kept doing that, 50 to 100, 100 to 200, 200 to 500. And today, I'm not kidding, I'm not even afraid to ask for $5,000 or even $10,000 for some of my clients. So in short, what I'm trying to say is you are going to figure it out. Don't set yourself as low as $5 like I did, that's too low. But ask for what you think is a fair price according to you. And you would be shocked to know what people are ready to pay.
Yes, sir.
Only if you're good enough though, first. But yeah, I think that's it. That's what I would do if I were to pursue my freelance career all over again. Honestly, this is what I would do even if I was looking for a job in the VFX industry, because Instagram and Twitter work as great portfolio sites as well. Because that same reel I showed you earlier has gotten me offers from several small to mid-sized animation companies for a full-time job as well. So I think this system works for both ways. You could do what I do right now as well. I shifted my focus to try and get good first, and I feel like I hit a level eventually where other people wanted to learn how I got there, and that's where a YouTube channel like this and a Patreon page subsequently can come in financially. So this system is sound even for that career path. I think I can even apply it to the add-ons and assets industry. If you shift your focus on making a good, useful asset or add-on rather than just thinking about how much money you could be making from it, you're gonna have a much higher chance of success than most of these other products and assets on Blender Market or Gumroad. In short, all I'm trying to say is the moral of the story is shift your ambition from I want to be rich to maybe I want to be good at Blender. And I feel like everything else you aspire to be will just follow. Otherwise, just like I did during those 5-6 years of my life, you will be scraping a part-time living, wondering why you are not making any progress in life, and keep watching more and more of these how to make money videos looking for an easy, cheap way out when none exist in the real world. Yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say. Hope this was helpful.
I like how no matter which one of these videos I go to, they all say the same thing. And it's a lot of the topics that we watching that's all saying the same thing. If you work on what it is that you are trying to do hard enough and you put in the work for it, the living will come because someone needs your service. They need what it is that you're doing. So the living will come. That just refueled me to sit here and figure out this game a little better, because that's all I've been sitting here doing. And I know undoubtedly I know I'm making myself happy. I'm getting paid off of ads too as well. But in that sense, I'm doing what I like to do. And the more I figure it out, the more I dedicate time to it, undoubtedly, the more that it'll make my living more comfortable for me. Alright. We done seen chess. We saw my man's talking about writing. He's a writer. Blender. These are all different ways that people are using their mind in the service of their mind to earn their living throughout life. I can't tell you go to school and get a job, earn your living. I can't tell you go to the military, work in there, rank up and earn your living. What I can tell you is find that source of the passion, the pride, the drive inside of you and cultivate it, and that'll bring your living. And if you actually doing it, actually cultivating that skill inside of you, not just talking about
it's
it.
crazy to think about
trying to
it.
get
Like,
rich
it
off
used
of
to cost millions to have TV, and now because of
actually cultivate
to this point,
learn
I'm gonna give you guys
everything
3 keys to.
Let's see how sports
Yes, you can make a living off sports betting. That's what I've been doing for the last 7 years, guys. I quit my 9 to 5 7 years ago exactly today. And now 7 years later, I'm staying at the Wynn in their best suite that costs $2,500 a night. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying that to show you the possibilities of what can be done. I started sports betting with a couple $100, working my 9 to 5, trying to pay my bills, trying to grow my bankroll to potentially one day be able to live this life. And now I am, 7 years later. Now, how did I do this? How did I get to this point? I'm gonna give you guys 3 keys to getting to this point, especially if you're in your 9 to 5 job and you wanna quit this and make it a full-time thing. The first step is having the right strategy and targets in place. If you're in a 9 to 5 job right now, it's because you need that money to pay your bills. At least that was what the case was for me. I set targets each quarter of how much I wanted to make sports investing through my systems, through my processes, and each quarter I would look back, analyze, see what mistakes were, and try to correct them and improve my systems. Over the next 2 years, I was able to quit my 9 to 5 because I was doing this so diligently. I was obsessed with the process, with getting better with my sports picks, with building better processes and strategies, correlating different stats, different trends that helped me pick winners. Building that strategy is key. Having targets of how much you want to make in order to quit your job is the first step. You don't just quit your 9 to 5 and do this full time without a plan. You better have a safety blanket, because the reality of the matter is you probably are going to fail a couple times. I failed 2 times, as a matter of fact. I lost a $10,000 bankroll that I grew from $100, and then I grew my bankroll to close to $40,000 and lost it again. Looking back at it, that was a blessing in disguise, because it taught me lessons that have helped me grow my bankroll to over 7 figures today. Don't be scared to fail. It's going to happen. But you gotta have a safety blanket. You gotta have the right strategies and systems in place. Number 2 is having the right mindset and discipline, guys. This game is for the 1%. People that have the right mindset to do this. You have to be able to take a punch, get up, smile, and swing again with discipline. Not just chasing when you're down or getting greedy when you're up. That's the common downfall of most sports bettors. They can't control their emotions. NFL Sunday comes, they're drunk with their buddies, and they're taking 10 plays with a parlay that's probably never gonna hit. And they know it too. They just want to think that it's gonna hit. They want to get rich quick. And I'm gonna tell you that right now, it's not gonna work out in this industry. The person that has a long-term mindset, the person that wants to see this as a business, then they're gonna profit long-term, guys. So it's important to see this as a business. See this long-term. Have a strategy, because if not, you're ultimately going to fail and hurt yourself. Mindset is key. Having the right strategy before you quit your job is even more key, because you want that safety blanket. You want to feel at ease. Pressure is going to come with this, but you want to feel at ease, at least with the money you have in your bank account, not stressing how you're going to pay your bills. If that's something that you're at right now, then the reality of the matter is you probably shouldn't do this till you save a decent amount of money that you can start doing this. This is an investment. It carries risk. There will be losses. There will be negative weeks. It's how you handle them and how you're able to bounce back. And that's why number 2 is mindset. And number 3 is having the right processes, systems, and strategies on how you pick your plays, guys. I see a lot of you guys picking plays based off emotions, based off your favorite players, your home teams, who's favorite, the best records. And the reality of the matter is that's not the right system to profit long term. You better know what you're doing. You better know what stats, what data, what trends to look for every single day, what traps not to fall for, what Vegas is doing, any little update that can benefit you and give you the edge. At the end of the day, your goal is to hit 65 to 70% of your bets. That's how you become really successful in this industry. You're not looking to hit 100%. Nobody hits 100%. That's a fallacy. So you're just looking to get 1% better every day, get an edge on Vegas, and start profiting more. Those are 3 keys that I follow to become the successful sports bettor I am today, and growing every single year. Now, my last tip for you guys is to stick with the system and stick with the team. I see a lot of people jumping from team to team when the boat gets cold, when the winning stops happening. And the reality of the matter, guys, is in a year time frame, a successful sports bettor is gonna have probably 3 to 4 big months, with the other ones being pretty average. As a matter of fact, I'm speaking from experience. This year, I profited close to $250,000, And out of those $250,000, $120,000 came in 3 months, June, July, and October. In 3 months, I made close to half my profits. So the people that are jumping from team to team each week because they can't handle a little cold streak, you're never going to win. You're never going to catch that hot streak because you're not patient. Patience pays. Patience pays. It's set in the stock market, it's set in trading, it's set in real estate, and now I'm saying it with sports investing. You need to have patience, and you need to be able to take a punch to do this long term. If that's something you want to do, you want to make this a full-time investment where you're profiting each and every single month, and you're learning how to grow your bankroll effectively while also putting money in your pocket, then my program that I'm starting in January is for you. You're gonna have bi-weekly calls with me, one-on-ones, bankroll management, and a whole bunch of other stuff that's gonna help you become a successful sports investor.
That's my man's. So, what did I just get? Some takeover perk. Second chance. All right. So, we done seen chess players making money. Well, earning a living. We've seen the writer earning a living. We've also seen the man that's using a computer on Blender making digital files making a living. And now we got the sports bettor making a living. Now, I don't necessarily want to focus on none of those three aspects. This is what I want to focus on right here. Come on, who is calling me? 1 second. Cello.
Hi, this is Jalea from the auto.
Okay, so like I was saying, I don't necessarily want to focus on nothing particular that they was doing to earn their living. What I want to focus on right now at this end, we got like 45 minutes left. What I want to focus on, I'm going to go on this 3.3, keeping y'all on the edge of your seat, is how eventually each of them needed to come to us or another person to tell them about what it is that they're doing. That's an important avenue for earning a living, if you ask me. At some point, my man's has a penthouse up in the sky. He making all his money off of betting, and he has to come and tell us about it. He could have kept it private, right? No, it's an important part of the strategy or the plan to earn a living. So in order for you to earn a living completely, you got to be doing something for people who's trying to earn a living. So hence, all of these people had to come back and tell us about how it is that they're earning a living to help them keep earning a living. It's part of earning a living. So let's see. Let me listen to another video while I go into this 3D.
Are you a business owner whose passion lies elsewhere? Let private trading networks replace your business income.
Looking to make some extra cash without breaking the bank? With just a small investment of $25 per week, you can start your journey to earning over $5,000 a month. Yes, you heard that right. It's possible. In this video, I'll show you and John simple and practical tips that investors keep secret. I'll show you the drip strategy and how you can make it even better. And in the end, I'll show you how using this strategy, you can turn a $25 per week investment into an over $500,000 portfolio paying over $5,000 in monthly dividends. So grab your $25 and let's get started on the path to financial success. Everything needs a strategy. You need to plan out what you need and how to get there. The same is the case with investing. In our case, our goal is to retire and still have free monthly payments as if you never retired from a job. But the problem is, we only have $25 per week to spare. So the only strategy for this is using the DRIP investment strategy. DRIP, or Dividend Reinvestment Plan, is a smart way to grow your investments over time. Think of it like planting a seed and watching it grow into a mighty tree. Instead of soil and water, you use your dividends to buy more shares, which then generate more dividends, creating a cycle of growth. Here's how it works. Imagine you own shares in a company that pays dividends. Instead of taking those dividends as cash, you reinvest them to buy more shares. This means you own more shares, which in turn generate even more dividends. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill, getting bigger and bigger with each revolution. One of the key benefits of DRIP is compound interest. When you reinvest your dividends, you buy more shares. And when those shares pay dividends, you reinvest them as well. This snowball effect leads to exponential growth over time. Let's break it down with an example. Suppose there's a stock that's worth $20 per share and you own 100 shares of that company. It pays a $1 dividend per share each year. At the end of year one, you'll have $100 in dividends. Instead of cashing out, you reinvest and buy 5 more shares of the stock. Now you have 105 shares of the company. The next year, instead of receiving $100, you'll get $105 in dividends. The following year, you'll own 110 shares, then 120, and so on, each time increasing the dividend amount. Over time, your investment grows larger and larger thanks to the power of compound interest. Another benefit of DRIP is dollar cost averaging. Instead of trying to time the market, you buy shares regularly regardless of whether the market is up or down. This helps to smooth out the highs and lows, averaging out the cost per share over time. Let's see how this works. Suppose you invest $100 every month in a company's DRIP. Some months, the share price might be high, so you'll buy fewer shares. In other months, the share price might be low, so you'll buy more shares. Over time, your average cost per share will be somewhere in between, helping to reduce the impact of market fluctuations. Finally, DRIP offers the convenience of automatic investment. Once you set up a DRIP with your broker, it takes care of everything for you. You don't have to worry about manually reinvesting your dividends or timing your purchases. It's a streamlined process that helps you stay focused on your long-term goals. In the end, I'll show you how this DRIP strategy can turn a small investment of $25 per week into over $500,000 portfolio that pays over $5,000 per month. But for that, you need to improve the DRIP strategy. Now here's how you can supercharge the DRIP investing strategy by contributing a set amount every week, month, or year. For this video, I'm investing $25 per week in my portfolio. That's $100 per month or $1,200 per year. Let me break down how this investment can make a significant impact on my investment journey. Firstly, by increasing my contribution to $25 per week, I'm accelerating the pace at which I buy more shares. With more money going into my portfolio regularly, I'll be able to purchase additional shares more frequently. This means I'll benefit from compounding at a faster rate as each new share I acquire starts generating dividends sooner. Adding more money every week helps you take better advantage of dollar cost averaging. This means I spread out my purchases over time, so I buy shares when prices are high and when they're low, reducing the impact of big price swings. Putting in $25 each week is simple, and it fits into my budget without trouble. And with DRIP, I don't have to worry about remembering to invest. It's done automatically. By using DRIP and adding money regularly, I'm setting myself up for more growth. My portfolio should keep getting bigger over time as I keep putting money in and reinvesting dividends. Now, when it comes to building a successful DRIP strategy, choosing the right stocks is key. By selecting stocks that meet specific criteria, you can ensure the effectiveness of your DRIP investments and maximize long-term returns. For me, I look into these 4 categories of stocks for my investment: blue
Beware of day trading options. It's one of the fastest ways to lose all of your money. This is what some people will keep telling you because they have never traded options and they don't know how straightforward they can be. Hi, my name is Mike Shore, and I'm gonna send you my day trading cheat sheet for 100% free, no strings attached. I've been in the trading game for over 30 years, and I'm featured on major news networks regularly. A lot of my students come to me with the same problem. There are too many stocks to choose from and too many complex ways to trade options.
Blue chip dividend stocks, dividend aristocrats, high-yield dividend stocks, and growth-oriented dividend stocks. In the end, I'll show you a selection of stocks using these criteria that you'd like.
Excuse me, I was just trying to fill the time with a video. Give me one. Steal. All right. Get us another video up in here, or at least some background music. I think this is a good way. I think this is gonna be a good way for us to go out with this video.
This question is from Divya in Chennai. Namaskaram, Sadhguru. I lost my job this week and I'm finding it very difficult to come to terms with it. I worked with total involvement and was doing very well. Losing all that I worked really hard for over the last 12 years is already immensely painful. I understand the situation, but how do I accept the quantum of loss, taking not only my past, but also mine and my family's future away?
Namaskaram, Divya. You must listen to me carefully because in your present condition, when you're a little distraught, you could easily misunderstand or misinterpret what I say. There are choices in life, but sometimes the choices are like this. Shankaran Pillai's wife was delivering their third child. He had 2 daughters. He was hell-bent that the third one must be a boy. It's an Indian problem, okay. But the doctor came out and said, it's a girl. Shankaran Pillai was distraught. The doctor tried to console him. It's all right, it's a girl, but she could be a tomboy. Then Shankaran Pillai said, no doctor, it's okay. Anyway, my second choice was a girl. Sometimes in life, choices are like this. So, 12 years of hard work, I'm not saying this to belittle whatever problems that you may face, but hard work. 12 years hard labor, you've been released. Some celebration must happen for that. But my salary, my money, my bills, my rent, children's school fees, yes. these are there. But because we are commemorating this week about World War I, compared to what people went through in terms of wars, in terms of famines, in terms of massive cyclones, earthquakes, in various geographies, different things, compared to all that, this pandemic is a softball. Because the result or the impact of this upon your life will largely depend on your response. In those situations, people had no choice, it just happened to them. Somebody decided there needs to be a war. Everybody else are just plain victims, they have no choice, they just have to die. Well, the whole world, including you and me, have economic problems right now. But our economic problems are such, whether it's pandemic or stock market collapse or recession, it inevitably has to happen because we are in an economic mode where it's always about more, and more. Somewhere, some alignment will happen. This may sound like a very cruel thing to say when you've just lost your job. But I want you to understand, my father was saying this. He's a qualified physician. He started his career in a tuberculosis sanatorium in Mysore. It was his commitment that at least for a year or two he will work in a tuberculosis sanatorium because his mother died of tuberculosis when he was just 4.5 years of age or 5 years of age at the most, 4.5 I think. So he was committed, when I become a doctor, I will serve in a sanatorium. And this sanatorium somehow it got organized that later on when he built a home for his family, it happened to be very close, within a couple of kilometers even today. So, he joined for a salary of 50 rupees. 50 rupees, I'm telling you, 50 rupees, that is less than $1 in today's world, a qualified physician. Oh, academically very up there. Then by the time he retired as a senior medical officer, a chief medical officer or something like that, in the Indian Railways, he was getting 14,500 rupees. This week also is 1 year after he passed away on 8th of November. As a terrible son that I am, I was not there. I had told him I won't be there because I had to. I had commitments. Well, so when my nephew, my sister's son, joined up in an IT company a few years ago, he started with some 35,000 rupee salary. My father just looked at him and said, "You fool, you good for nothing you are. They're giving you 35,000, I retired with 14,500. So I'm saying, compared to previous generations, how much more we have, how much more. So if we have to cut down our lives by 10–20%, let's not cry too much.
That last lap.
Your fathers, your grandfathers, maybe it might have been physically a little harder, but they didn't live a bad life. They lived well in their own way. So if we have to roll back a little bit, at least understand you're doing a great ecological service. Economy has slowed down. Yes, there is a lot of pain because of adjustment that we have to do with our lives. It's not just for you, Divya, for all of us, for everyone in the world. Nobody is spared. That things have to roll back. Well, maybe nobody is spared is a wrong thing to say because certain types of businesses are flourishing, stock market is booming. So maybe somebody is benefiting, that's a good thing, let's not resent that. But a whole lot of people, they have to cut down their life. Well, this has been the preachings of various ecological activists that you need to cut back. It's happening. Well, how do my children go to school? How do I manage my home? How do I manage this? How do I pay the bank loan? There are problems. I'm not saying there are no problems, there are problems. But the most important thing is that you're alive. Your family is alive. People that matter to you are alive. Keep it that way. Because that's the most precious thing. And don't get into this mode, oh, I've lost my job, I lost everything. You've not lost everything. There's only one thing that is of immense value in your life, that is your life itself. So that is still with you. Some accessories will be lost. Maybe you will realize some new talent that without going to office you can still make your livelihood. See, this virus made me a painter. Hello. I'm raising funds for the foundation and its various projects through my paintings, and who ever believed that I would become a painter? I never imagined. I just put my hand to it and it works. So, this is a time to innovate, this is a time to explore, this is a time to enhance who we are. This is a time also to cut down our expenses, limit our excesses, and bring our life to some sense. So, this loss of job, don't make it too distressing. No need to become distraught. There is a second choice, you know. There are various ways that you can do some enterprise. What kind of enterprise? We don't know. It may work, it may not work. Essentially, you are not struggling with life, your mind is struggling with the uncertainty of not having a job. Shankaran Pillai, in the month of December, bought up over 100,000 calendars, 2020 calendars, for 3 cents a piece. 100,000 calendars in the month of December. So, people said, what are you going to do with this? The year is almost over, what will you do with this? I said, you don't worry, just in case it comes back, I will make a whole lot of money. Like this, we have lots of expectations. Some expectations crash, it's not really a bad thing. Yes, some expectations crash, not a bad thing at all. Oh, Sadhguru, it's easy for you to talk, maybe da-da-da, everything is great for you. No, you just have the responsibility of 3 to 4 people on your hands and you're worrying your head out. I have the responsibility of thousands of people, millions actually. We've committed to the farmers that we will do certain things. We're not going to go back on that. We will fulfill that. Well, it's going to be much harder, much more work. But will we do hard work? No. We will key up our joyfulness. We'll key up our energies so that, when you need more power, you need to supercharge yourself. That's what we will do. We'll not go back on our commitments, nor should you. Whatever commitments you have of family, children, anything else if you have, you should not go back on that. You must see how. This is why a human being has been invested with a certain level of intelligence, time to exercise that, not to set into an automatic mode, I got a job, so I don't have to think anymore, just have to go there and come back. My life is taken care of. No, that's not the way to live. Survival is not the end game for a human being. Survival has to be taken care of, that's all. But that's not the end game. Here I have thousands of young people, volunteers, who are doing things in their life which is not about themselves, it's not about their survival. Because I've infused them with a certain sense of madness that they don't have to worry about their survival. Because if you're really concerned about everybody's well-being, you don't have to worry about your survival, world will take care of you to whatever extent. If you're not particular how you survive, no. Most of the time the problem is you want to survive better than your neighbor. Because of that, it's an endless problem. In this competition of trying to be better than everybody else or somebody else, how many silly things human beings are doing is unbelievable. Well, your activity should match with the situation. Do not ever expect the situation should be frozen, always like this, always you have a job, always this is going to happen. No, your activity should match the situations in which you exist. This happened. 3 ladies were discussing about what to wear for the evening party that they were going to. Then one of them said, no, that you can't wear what you want. You are required to wear something the same color as your husband's hair. Then one said, okay, I have a black suit, no problem, I'm going to wear that. The other one said, oh, I think I have to go and shop, I don't have a grey dress, I have to go and get it, I need to go and get a salt and pepper kind of dress. The other one looked distraught and said, oh my God, I'm not coming.
Alright. That last little bit was hilarious. So, as we conclude, I don't want anybody to take away from this that you shouldn't be out here to, earn a living for yourself. We were born into this world, and we know that in order for us to stay in this world, you gotta do something, whether it be eat, drink, whatever it is, and you gotta get that stuff somehow. So don't take my saying that, or the stuff that my mans was just talking about on One Path's YouTube channel, as you shouldn't be out here to earn a living. Now, what you shouldn't do is take from someone to earn that living. Easier said than done anyway. But you get what I'm saying. So, as we close out, I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to play too much more. I'm going to just get us some music in the background and get us a good talk from my guy, Earl. As we close out of this thing.
Washington Pod presents Earl Nightingale.
There's a restaurant operated by a family in a lovely coastal town in California. Month after month, year after year, it hangs on by its fingernails. Now this despite the fact that the food is quite good and the bakery products excellent. The owners have the idea firmly fixed in their combined mentality that the way to produce the largest profit is to give the least for the best possible price. The idea makes sense on paper. The less one pays for the product one serves, and the greater the price charged, the larger will be the profit spread. But this figuring is without the consent of the customer. The customer has an entirely different idea. The customer wants the most for the least amount of money, and the customer makes the decision as to where he or she will spend his or her money. People vote with their money. They will vote for one place rather than another because they believe they receive a better value. And at the restaurant under discussion, the customer quickly sees that he or she is being charged a maximum price for the least possible product. For example, while almost all restaurants serve butter on the table, this place butters the bread in the kitchen, but does so sparingly that it's immediately apparent, and it may not be butter at all. It's the same with the other dishes served. The least possible service for the largest possible price. That is, the largest price most customers will pay without argument and only a certain amount of grumbling. So people don't go back to this restaurant a second time. The most profitable customers for any business are those who come back again and again and bring their friends. This place misses that richest vein of trade because of its ridiculous penny pinching. Month after month, the owners fail to see the cause of their failure. Another place opened up not long ago in the same general neighborhood. It's crowded every day. It has a marvelously diversified menu and serves large, delicious servings for the prices charged. The customers at this new place feel they're being well served for the money they're spending. My wife and I were having lunch there one day when we noticed a man in street clothes cleaning the table next to ours. We had noticed how busy he was, jumping in wherever he was needed to give the busy waitresses a hand. We introduced ourselves. He was the owner. It was his 9th restaurant in an escalating plan, and he was delighted with it, as we were. It was the culmination of several years of working and planning, and it's a place to be proud of, a real winner. We told him we liked the place, had thoroughly enjoyed our luncheon, and would be back regularly, as would, I'm sure, the other local people who filled the place. Kill him with service. I forget who said that, but it's the magic key to success in business. Give your very best and work at making it better, and give them more than they expect for what they're paying. Do what you do so well that you'll guarantee always getting a disproportionate share of the available business. Service. We're here to serve each other. And every one of us does who receives anything back in the way of return. Those who do not serve do not receive anything. The greatest thing in the world is the opportunity to be of service to others. That's why those of us who live in the more enlightened democracies are so fortunate. There's a whole world out there crying for help, for ideas, for endless products and services. The third world, yes, of course, but the first and second worlds as well. Your neighborhood. The extent of your opportunity to be of service can be said to be the extent of your imagination coupled with your education. And the best place to begin is where you are. You may already be wonderfully successful in providing a useful service that makes demands upon your brains and ability, but of one fact we can be certain: it can be improved. Another is that there are always ways to expand your service to others that you haven't thought of. Perhaps yours is work so highly personalized that it cannot be increased. That might be true of your successful surgeon, sculptor, or painter. Within the ranks of every profession, there can be found a sprinkling of great ones whose expertise and service is of a quality and range that they do extremely well with the clientele they develop over a period of time. Then there are the very good, the average, and the below average. But it still works out that our rewards, in whatever form we may realize them, will be in relation to our service.
So, now, with that being said from Earl, whatever it is that you provide for the group will provide what it is that you need to keep on providing what it is that you provide for the group. That is an important aspect to take away from earning a living out here in today's world. You can only be compensated proportionally to what it is that you're doing. You're not gonna get more bang for your buck if you're not doing more bang. Give me 1 second, let me answer this. I want to see what's being said. But that's it. But yeah, that's it for today on Expansion Pack. I'm your host, Dan F. Man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for being here. And I will see y'all again on Monday next week. Peace.
Washington Pod presents Earl Nightingale.
Entrepreneur. ENTREPRENEUR. Noun. A person who organizes, operates, and assumes the risk for business ventures.
Washington Pod presents Earl Nightingale.
Entrepreneur.